Já está feito o check-in das duas finalistas. Vamos ver então a Joana de Fé, da Ilha Reunião, França, de amarelo. Ela vai entrar na água daqui a pouquinho. Era o início da prova às 5h30. Com aqui 35 minutos. Joanne, tu as ta montre à 35? Buse-toi. Free surfers aqui à frente, vamos precisar que vocês saiam, por favor. As meninas vão entrar e possivelmente até fazer uma ondinha de aquecimento. Portanto, gostávamos que vocês saíssem, não outside a ninguém. Muito obrigado desde já e volto a reiterar os agradecimentos aos locais da Ribeira que nos emprestaram a praia. Obrigado pessoal, valeu. Obrigado aos professores. As meninas vão entrar daqui a pouquinho. À medida que a maré está a vazar, vão haver mais oportunidades e natural que elas querem ter uma ondita ou duas de aquecimento para sentirem a força do mar. Portanto, desde já, muito obrigado a todos os free surfers de deixarem a área livre. Thank you, free surfers. We appreciate you guys coming out of the water now. Thank you. então, pessoal, daqui a pouco vai começar a final e eu volto a ser chato, mas a pedir-vos, por favor, tentem formar aí 2 ou 3 corredores com 2 metros de distância. Tentem organizar-se de maneira a haver aí, pela praia fora, haver durante 2 ou 3 áreas sem pessoas, para nós mostrarmos que estamos a ter cuidado. Colaborem, por favor, isto também é para vocês. Everybody on the beach, we're asking you to create 2 or 3 corridors of 2 meters wide where there will be no people. We need that image and we need that safety. So please, guys, for your own safety and for Portugal, for Portuguese tourism, we beg of you to create that distance, 2 or 3 corridors about 2 meters where there should be nobody. Thank you. Thank you once again. I know I'm asking some people to move, but please do that for the welfare of everybody. Então façam-no por todos e façam-no pelo surf e pela nossa imagem lá fora. Esta prova está a ser televisada em todo o mundo. E vai a líder do ranking Jeep do Europe Series. Já está na água. Uma salva de palmas para ela. Outside já está a Nádia, a basca, a surfista basca, Nádia Erostarbe, e a Joana está a armar também para o outside, para iniciarem a sua prova às 5h30, 35 minutos no relógio. Skimboarder que está aqui à frente, vamos pedir agora para parar de fazer skimming. De qualquer maneira, obrigado pelo espetáculo, pelas ondas, mas a segurança de praia pediu para começar essa mensagem. Muito obrigado. Cerca de 5 minutos para aquecer motores. Depois o nosso chefe para aquecer a parafina das pranchas. On the outside, can you hear us? Thank you. May free surf at this point. We will tell you when no more surfing is allowed. Quando terminarem as finais, normalmente nós pedimos para a cerimónia de entrega de prémios, mas isso era o antigamente. Agora a cerimónia de entrega de prémios tem que ser mais intimista, sem passagens de microfone e sem a tal moldura humana de público que nós normalmente temos para acontecer na entrega de prémios. Desde já espero que compreendam que não vão ver muito perto, mas depois poderão ver a repetição em casa. Desde já o nosso muito obrigado a vossa segurança e a segurança naturalmente de todos os que aqui trabalham e nos apoiam.
Countdown series welcomes you to Europe. The MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing about to wrap up. Just 2 heats left to run. 2 most important heats of the entire event. Of course, our finals, first out in the water, will be our women's final, which will see Joanne Defay take on Edita Starbate. And then we'll be going straight into our men's final. Attilo Ferreira taking on Frederico Maurice. So a couple of scintillating matchups. And we've just waited for the tide to roll out a bit. We've had a little pause around here. Myself, Paul Evans, in the studio for the call, as well as the colourful insights from our main man, Ben Mundy. How excited are you from sort of 10 to 10 in terms of our 2 finals that are coming up, Ben?
12.5, Paul. Yeah, off the Richter. Yeah, it's so exciting. We've just boiled this competition down to 4 surfers, 1 hour or an hour and 10 minutes of epic surfing. The 4 probably best surfers of the whole event, I think the form surfers. And we've waited for the right tide. The sun's come out, the wind's backed off, the tide sort of dropped out. We're looking for some epic sort of hour of final action.
I've been on pause for a while, but earlier on today, let's get caught up with a look at some highlights of what went down. And that woman there, your Jeep leader, Joanne de Fay, she's in the final because she put on a stellar performance this morning against this lady here, Attilo. She was tough, but unfortunately couldn't get past Joanne.
Yeah, she couldn't get through that. That was Yolanda Hopkins, one of the turns of the event so far, a huge turn, but she couldn't get past Nadia Erastabi, who's in the final with big backhand hooks like that. And of course, you know that man, Attilo Ferreira, the Jeep leader jersey on his back, and he was a little bit of a wave-starved heat, but he did this type of stuff. He took to the air, he was doing some incredible backhand stralps, and he sort of cruised through his semi with Ramsey Bouquet, so that was an amazing semi. This was tight.
Bit of drama in this one, Ben. Kanoa Igarashi, not a happy bunny as it went the way of this man, Frederico Maurice. So Portuguese were pretty stoked. Kanoa Igarashi, he wanted that place in the final, he wanted it bad. Shows how much it means.
Yeah, this wave was the one he wanted to score. He didn't get the score on this wave. He was only needing a 6.5, and he was very upset. He was fired up on the beach as well. So such passion, such sort of fire in the belly, which is what we're here for, really, Paul.
Okay, well, we've let that tide roll out. Just a couple of hours from that high water mark. Sets have been on the pump. I can tell you that from what we've been watching. And it's time now to get the women's final kicked off. As you see, the Jeep leader, Joanne de Fay, she's also the Euro Cup champion. She's made 2 finals, one up in France. She's in the final here in Portugal. She's taken on the highly rated up-and-coming goofy out of Zarouts in the Basque Country, Nadia Erastabi. Let's check out the final bracket and see how it's stacked up, Ben. A lot of talent there, but as you said earlier, cream rise to the top.
Yeah, Joanne de Fay has been the form surfer of the European leg of this Euro Cup of Surfing. She defeated Carolina Mendez, who was a real form surfer early on in the quarterfinal, and then went on to beat the Israeli Anat Leilor, another really strong performer. On the other side of the draw, well, the story of the sort of wild card almost is, Nadia Erastabi. She beat the real red hot favourite from Portugal, Teresa Bonvalo. Went on to Yolanda Hopkins, the sort of power pocket, and that was a massive scoring heat. She, her backhand, Nadia, that is, was absolutely on fire. And she's young, she's fresh, she's quite shy and retiring, but she's got the confidence. And so it's a bit of a, it's a big ask, but she's got the capability to do it. We should have a bit of a incredible final based on the performances over today.
Going to be 35-minute finals, so just extending them, offer even more opportunity to our athletes out in the water. Pick the best waves. Just see that tide has rolled out a little way off the rocks here now. And we should be up towards our most consistent part, this reef becoming uncovered. Hopefully those long, powerful right-handers that we've been enjoying. Our head judge will wait for a set to get things off, as is customary for a final.
Here we go.
So we'll try and start off with some action. Let a set roll in. That's the experienced head of Joanne de Fay. I don't know if there's been a coin toss, a rock, scissors, paper, or any kind of negotiation, but it looks like Joanne de Fay has got the inside. And we're underway here, Ben. We're up and running. We're going to bring the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing to a conclusion. One of these two is going to be crowned champion here. And as you've been saying, it's not really about the points, well, there aren't any. It's not really about the prize money. A lot of that's been donated to charity, but it's all about getting live competitive surfing back. And I see, Ben, you got a little extra spring in your step, knowing that pro surfing's back, the Wazzle's back in Europe, mate. Yeah, it's been a really incredible effort from so many people who've come together to make this happen, from the sponsors, Jeep and Red Bull and MEO, of course, to all the workers behind the scene, to all the COVID restrictions that we've all dealt with and with good spirits. And we've put this final on, and we've got to a situation right now where, we've got a classic, pro surfing story of a world number 8, the current Jeep leader up against an up-and-coming great surfer from the Basque Country. So, it's just great to have the tension back, and it still matters a lot. And it's a taste, and it's been a damn good one, I reckon. Oh, we're going to start off by a concerted paddling effort there from Erastabi. No priority to start things off. Everyone a little bit caught outside by that first sort of medium set that's come through. Probably not a legit set in the context of this afternoon. Surf in the sort of 4-5 foot range, Ben. You happy with that? Yeah, very happy with that. It's probably a really good size for this reef here. It sort of hugs the reef of that size, doesn't break too wide. The tide just to drop out a little bit. The wind that we thought may have been an issue, well, that's just backed right off. I mean, outside is just a balmy Portuguese sort of autumn evening.
The light's amazing, the temperature's just spot on, and the surf looks great. So yeah, we need just a bit of action, a few sets to roll through, a bit of consistency. So there's plenty of options. I reckon we'll get that over the next sort of 35 minutes.
We broke down the backhand weaponry of Nadia Eristabi in the semi-final. So a clash of surfing styles in terms of goofy versus regular, and just in these Ribeira walls, the verticality of the backhand from the Basque. Nadia Eristabi, Joanne Defay on the forehand. She reckons it's a weakness. We've not seen many signs of that. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, exactly. Joanne Defay grew up on Reunion Island, and St. Lou was her go-to wave growing up, so her backhand's strong. But Nadia is actually the one that's been really utilising that backhand, those big vertical hooks. And you just saw a brains trust. Ritz Aramburu, who was in this event, Goni Zubizarreta, who was one of Europe's great servers, and they've been helping her out through this, and she's grown in confidence as the heats have progressed, and she's looked really strong. But there's a paddle battle now, and so we'll see what happens there.
Joanne Defay having a look at that, and then last minute she decided to pull out, still in a no priority situation. Start off the heat, no ways ridden. As yet, Joanne had a good paddle and then decided that wave was going to go, presumably going to go soft rather than close out. She'll let that go. We'll see a couple of lines stack up here, so no ways ridden in the opening couple of minutes in this one. 35-minute final should afford plenty of opportunity. And there is Joanne Defay's partner right there. They're staying in a van, going back to the roots, staying in the van in the car park, and just loving van life, enjoying Portugal. At the moment, just another 30 minutes or so of work yet to be done on what's been a pretty successful Euro Cup for Joanne Defay. She's already won it. She's looking at another event win here if she can get past Eristabi.
Yeah, well, if she's got the steely glint of determination in her eyes that the partner has, I think she's going to be okay. But yeah, they've been cruising up and down the coast, surfing great waves here in Portugal, and then when the comp's on, she's proper game on. She hasn't lost a heat in 2 weeks, so it's been an incredible return back to elite level competition. And but she'll know she's got one more heat to finish off. She's so experienced. She's been on the CT for so many years, had event wins, one of Europe's greatest ever surfers, full stop. So it's a big ask for Eristabi, but it's all sort of even Stevens right now. 0 points on the clock, 0 points each, plenty of time on the clock, and we'll see how it unfolds.
Yep, nothing really to bring you in terms of action so far in this one. In any kind of final jitters or nerves that have been carried in. Sometimes our athletes like to get a little bit of a start just to get that off the proverbial feet in the wax. Hasn't happened so far. We've nearly lost that extra 5 minutes we've afforded to our surfers for the final. Let's see which one of these two is able to strike first. It does seem, just looking from here, that Joanne Defay's got that inside. So
yeah, I think she's pulling rank, and well she should.
Well, I mean, if you might agree to that, but would you stick to it? Pull a sneaky, Ben?
Yeah,
I think I'm
not
saying I don't trust you, mate, but...
Well, you know me, I'll be up that inside like a rat up a pipe, to be honest. But yeah, Nadia has actually done that now. She's probably afforded her well-qualified opponent a bit of respect, maybe too much, but now she's on the inside, so if a wave does come through, she's in a good position. And I think she probably afforded her a bit of time, but now, as we are set approaching, we'll see who draws first blood.
All right, good-looking wave, feathering out the back, and it looks like live action from Eristabi. She'll hit the crumbly section that Joanne created by paddling, and after waiting a full 5 minutes for any kind of action to bring you, exactly what we were after. And a little mistake there from Eristabi. She'll go down. She'll get just a 1 point for that little redirect, and we'll go back and wait for another set. So nothing really to talk about early on. It's been a quiet start so far in this one, but we'll use this time just to think back about the skill sets and the quality these two have shown. Obviously, they've been two of the outstanding surfers. That's why they're here in the final. But in terms of the ability to compete, it's been interesting to see Joanne all the while staying sort of happy and smiley, but all the while looking deadly. And here she goes. She'll get a turn in the pocket on a really soft-looking opening section. Ribeira Diles, it's really hard to know what the wave's going to do. The takeoff part of the wave, it's almost stand up and surf it as you see it down the line, and she'll do exactly that. She gets a little figure eight whip in a pocket, and then on a soft face, just to wait for it to stand up. There's a nice turn from her. She just ditches the tail a little bit, and unfortunately, an error there. And that's the sort of turn she'd be expecting to make her sort of quality. So a bit of an error there, and she probably left a few points out there with that wipeout on the end, Ben.
Yeah, she'd worked pretty hard for that stage. It's always hard, that first wave of the heat, just to try and set a marker. Nadia Aristide had already made one mistake, so here was a chance for the world number 8 to capitalise. Nice S-turn. She was going all pretty smooth. And then at the end, when just was she's going to add a bit of flair, a bit of fin release, which she did, she was on the way to a score, and I don't know what happened. That front rail caught, and she went over. So, yeah, she, for a surfer of her calibre, that's bread and butter, and she'll be disappointed. She only got a 3-3 for that. There was a few more points left on, and she'll paddle back out, sort of, not kicking herself. She's too smart for that, but just, wanting to improve on that score for sure.
Now, Joanne Defay, by making the final, is our Euro Cup Jeep leader. They've won the final up in front. She's made the final here, first and a second. Gives her an unassailable points command on the Jeep leaderboard. So well done to Joanne Defay. With all her professionalism, she'll certainly be thinking about winning this heat as well. 27 minutes and 10 remaining. A 3-3-3 comes in for Joanne Defay. That one for Nadia Aristide. That's all we've really got to talk about so far. We're hoping this one fires up at the moment. And a bit tentative. Not a lot of opportunity, not a lot of quality either. The waves have come through. Let's see how it fires up. The clock will count down, but just thinking about performances from Defay. We saw her drop an 8 for one turn. She's got that in her repertoire. Aristide got that 7 early on for the backhand hit, but you're thinking she's looking more for those kind of critical, steeper sections. Looking to fire up more on the inside. Maybe Joanne can do it a little bit more out the back if it comes down to that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's the problem that Nadia faces, is that Joanne is such a great surfer. We saw Fredo kick us Marash. Talking to his coach, Richard Dogmarsh, he's up next, obviously, up against the world champion. One of the hardest sort of heats in surfing right now. Italo hasn't lost since about 2015 by all accounts, and he's on fire. But Joanne, yeah, she can do both. She can pull off a one manoeuvre wave, get an 8. And I think that's what sets her apart from some of these less experienced surfer. But also at the back, she can really lay it on rail. So she's got both covered, and Nadia's going to have to do something pretty special to match her.
Let's pick up live action from the Basque. The goofy Aristide. Let's redirect for an opening turn. There's that clip off the top. And this one will get kind of slopey for her. She'll hope to stay real close to that white water. There's those trademark arms. Become quite characteristic of her surfing from what we've seen this week. And she'll get a little finish, just kind of poking that nose up into the white water on the end as well, just to put a little exclamation point to that. So a couple of nice turns from her. Let's see how the judges process on that. So far, no one's stamping any particular authority, but good stuff this from the Basque.
Yeah, she's back on the water. This is second turn to money here, and this is where she's dangerous. So it's right in the pocket. You can see the foam coming down, and right next to that foam was a real bit of clean, fairly steep green face, and that's where she went for at 12 o'clock. And that's how she's got to the final. That's been the money turn. She finishes off well. Not a whole lot of variety, but when she sticks those vertical backside entries, there it is from up the top. Great angle looking at that turn there from right above. It just shows you, how much potential she's got and why she's been so dangerous throughout the whole event down here in Ericeira in Portugal.
Just getting another look once again at that last effort. Score is in for Aristide. Comes in as a 5-5. So good stuff from her. And a little bit of a wobbly wave. She uses that vertical attack just to kind of puncture that lip line. As just rewarding that with just above that mid-range score. Good stuff. Under 24.5 remaining in this one. Defay with priority at the back. Our Jeep leader for the Euro Cup, taking out that title with an epic performance up in front, going all the way for the win. Guess what? She's back in the final. So in terms of our favourites, pre-event, pre-Euro Cup, well, they've both made both finals, so no kind of great upsets there. I don't think it's a major shock either to see a surfer of Aristide's talent, but she maybe wasn't one of the names we're expecting. If you think about some of the more experienced campaigners, it's a great story. We're opening a new chapter of European surfing.
We really are, and we talked about this, and it's worth repeating that this is an amazing opportunity for so many of these young surfers, especially on the women's side, who viewers around the world might not be so familiar with. And Nadia's one of those that she's from Zarautz up there in the Basque Country in Spain, which is such a hotbed of surfing activity, and great surfers. We stood at Ritz, we just saw, who surfed well in this event to make the quarterfinals. And we didn't know much about her till 3 days ago. But I tell you what, now we do. And right now, as it stands, with 23 on the clock, she's currently besting the world number 8 and one of the legends of the sport in Europe. So, yeah, let's see if she can carry on. It'll be a massive win for her. Obviously, there's no points. We talk about the money's being donated to good causes, but I tell you what, in terms of a confidence boost, you could not beat this as this win if she was to go all the way.
Under the 23-minute mark, Joanne Defay just with one wave ridden so far. The opening 12 minutes of this women's final for the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing. Of course, she has that priority. Just scoping things out. Not a load of sets. And we saw some pulses during the break on the high tide. As is often the way with surfing, we do get that kind of natural sort of ebb and flow. Just in terms of the periodicity of the sets, it's not been a lot on offer so far in this one. 2 kind of legit sets, and even those have been sort of medium ones. Let's certainly hope for more. At the moment, the ocean not providing loads. It's just asking that kind of patience question we like to talk about. Obviously, we're here to describe what these athletes are doing on the way, but that mental side, Ben, ever important. If you think about the moral fortitude, this lady's got it here. She's got a ton of experience, and she's got some great weaponry as well. Joanne Defay unleashes a first turn, and she'll bounce down back off the white water. Come through this midsection of the wave with some nice engaged rail. Looking for an inside through here. Just kind of swooping speculatively. Now on the inside, it will stand up on the bowl. She'll get a clip out of the lip. And again, a nice little stinging turn through a sort of foamy lip on that one. Another little gouge down for her. And she'll be done there. A nice series of maneuvers.
Yeah, really smooth, wasn't it? Just the whole way through. I mean, that's a leg burner. From all the way out the back of the point, all the way down. So as we see a competitor just racing through the inside section, another mistake on the inside. It'll be interesting to see just what she pulled off out the back. But she's also travelled a long distance to get to that inside, Pete. So we'll see. Here she goes. So a bit of a foam climb there. Didn't really get any fins engaged, but now there's a bit of a wall. A bit fat, a bit bumpy. You can see her just trying to reconnect somewhere down the line. Still not a lot of points so far. She's still waiting for it to stand up, and when she did get there, it was still going, and then that was that turn that we've been watching all week, and here's just trying to finish, and that's a mistake. Wasn't a lot left on that wave, so a lot of work for not much action. Joanne's was different. She S-turned the whole way through it, got some connection. She's in a good place, I think, right now. I mean, not just because she's surfing a great waves in Portugal in the final of the return to surfing, but she's got a great new sponsor, the Deeply, who are from Portugal. She's really obviously settled with a long-term partner. She's fit as a fiddle. She's been doing yoga. She's training so hard. And, I just think her attitude and her sort of place in the world is really secure, and it shows in her surfing. She's absolutely been ripping. So a solid start there, and we'll see what that scores, because that was the first really, good performing wave, and I think she'll be rewarded fairly handsomely for it.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Ben. She's pretty serious about her training, but I just think her general vibe, she's not one of those gym robots. She's not one of those athletes. She is, to me, a real natural kind of surfer. She's got that vibe about her, and I think that's what works for Joanne. She surfs her best when she's happy. And it's not necessarily one of those stories about overcoming adversity or one of those kind of rocky, like Shaggy Dog stories with Joanne. She just loves surfing, and that's part of her success.
Yeah, I don't know about the Shaggy Dog story. That must be one of the... Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, no, exactly. She's quite instinctive, isn't she? She sort of goes with the flow. She never sort of reacts too negatively to any of the situations that's put in front of her. She's got a sort of, real even... I was about to say evil temperament. That wouldn't be very nice. An even temperament. And, she's got a great laugh. But she's also got the ability to really switch on as an athlete. She's got an athlete sort of mindset. And when the waves are on, and that Jeep leader singlet's on especially, she clicks into gear, and she's very difficult to beat when she's in form.
All right, 19 to go in this one. Score to come in for Defay. We'll be very surprised if it doesn't put her into first place. A number to drop in for Aristabe as well. Just taking their sweet time with these numbers. As we see a little bit of ruffle, and to get to this stage of the day, and nice texture to the ocean, but a bit of that backlight coming in as that sun gets around. It is getting up towards 10 to 6 local time. Probably about an hour and a half of light left. We're using as much as we can of the daylight hours to ensure we get optimum tidal opportunities. Quick in and out for Aristabe. Still waiting for those last numbers to come through. Joanne Defay's will probably put her back into first place, or certainly will put her into first place. She only needs a 3.18. And what we saw from her was better than a 3.33 that she dropped in early on. So, but we've got another score to come in for Aristabe as well, who served quite far on that way, didn't she? She went a long way in Whitewater. She was sort of going left for a lot of it. She got that one good turn in. I think that last manoeuvre, what we couldn't see is how dry it was going on the inside. So she didn't get a completion on the last turn, but had one nice manoeuvre. Judges got quite a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, for sure. I think that these two ways might be the sort of reference points for the rest of the final. Those scores will be a pretty good benchmark about what you need to do to go up into the excellent or good range, and what you need to do below that. So they're taking their time, and with no sets sort of approaching, they can afford to do that.
They've got that dartboard out with the scores, but sometimes you hit the metal and the dart just falls off. So I think that's why the score's taken a while to come through. They've all got to throw again.
If she comes out with 180, I'll know that someone's in form. But it's going to be a big score. I think that's what they're doing with Joanne. It was a really well-ridden wave from a long way out, and she's back in position too, so she could be ready to capitalise.
Action stations at the top of the point. Joanne Defay had a paddle, doesn't go on that one. Aristabe's lurking with intent. She won't go either. That wave did go soft. Good decision from Joanne. She'll have another crack at it here, though. She likes to look at this one. Second wave of the set. Have to come from behind. Bit of obtuse Whitewater, and she'll do that. Just kind of swoop around. Set up down here, and that beautiful evening light sparkling on the face at Rubira Dilius. Into the lip now, really nice from her. Drifts the fins, but a bit of flair, a bit of polish. A flamboyant dismount from her. And when she emerges from that, not only will she have a number for that last wave, but the further good news was previous to that, she dropped a 7.5 Monday.
Yeah, she did indeed, and then she backed it up straight away. So, yeah, great surfing. Meanwhile, Aristabe too, right behind her. So they're going wave for wave, Paul. It's going to be one of those battles. These sets, always have 2 or 3 or 4 in it. So we'll see how that went. And there's some big numbers dropping, aren't they, Paul?
So great news for Joanne, 7.5 previous to the last wave. However, Nadia Aristabe's got 7 of her own, 7.27. That was 2 waves ago. She got just a quick throwaway after that, and then another score to come in. That 7.2. So we only really saw the one completed turn on it. There's something we didn't catch, but
I think we may have missed one of the turns out the back, to be honest. But we'll confirm that. So we're seeing here though, this is Nadia's replay. So the goofy footer going down the line, a smaller wave, but she's just wanting to see that hug the reef. And she's waiting for it. Another little check turn comes in again. Pumping hard and goes up and can't quite make that. So that wave, we don't think you can see the drone cam how upset she was with it. And she's just waiting here. It's a bit hard to see which is which. And she sees that foam always makes life a little bit difficult. It just gets frothy, and that's just where she tried to get a bit more release. She didn't come out too well. This wave though, from Joanne, was a lot different. She linked to turns, not a lot of steep face, but then she had one sort of section here, and you'll just see that from the front angle, you just saw that, I think she's on a swallowtail. It just sort of arced up into the sun and made like a bat's tail. She really got that fins out of the water. She got that swallowtail cranking off the top, and this turn there she goes, just cracks up. So a 6.77 for that wave. So she's backed up to 7.5, and she's looking super, super strong right now.
Score drops in for Defay, puts it back into first place and leading this one. Now with a good total. We're all caught up with numbers. Just a small score for that last effort of Aristabe. So her situation, she's got a 7.27 of her own. Her requirement 7.01 at the moment. 14 minutes and 10 seconds going. Remaining in this women's final of the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing. That's our angle from the drone. Just picks up Joanne Defay, making her way back into the lineup, moving towards the top of the point. She does have priority, so she'll be able to strike first as well when the next opportunity comes through. But at the moment, she's got a good total already with just 3 waves ridden. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. Join us for more live action. We're going to complete the women's final right after this quick break down here at Rubira Dilius. Join us for it right after this.
So Nadia, you're still second, you're still chasing a 7.01. Continua a procura ali, a surfista basca. 7.01 para
Euro Cup introduces the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing, presented by MEO, the official partner of the World Surf League; Tourism of Portugal, the official strategic partner of the World Surf League; Jeep, official vehicle of the World Surf League; and ADP, official partner of the World Surf League.
Welcome back to Portugal. Women's final in the water right now. Men's final about to go in about 12 minutes time. That will see that man right there, Frederico Maurice, representing Portugal. And he's got a bit of a job on his hands up against a very informed Jeep leader for the Euro Cup, Attilo Ferreira, your reigning world champ. And that looks like being an absolute smoker of a final. There is that man, the Jeep leader, Italo, getting his tunes on, getting his vibes on, and he's always ready to go. Every time there's a heat, every time there's a jersey, particularly if that's that lovely looking yellow one, the Jeep leader, he will be fired up and ready to go. And Monday, he just looks pretty much bulletproof the whole way through this Euro Cup. No one's really landed a punch on him.
No one's come close. He's like, yeah, it's like, he's hopped into a booth and put on his super armor, isn't it? You know, some type of superhero that as soon as he straps in that Jeep leader jersey, he just seems impenetrable. And yeah, no one's come close. And it's going to take something special from Freddie to take him down here.
There was that one moment in France, wasn't there, Cowley Vast in that round one?
It just made him angry.
Just made him even more angry.
He's coming and blowing out. He's like, I can't believe that kid. He got a 6 point. He was like, oh, he's just surfing against you. Yeah, he's been so focused, so sort of into his competition, and every day he just wants to get better. I tell you what, yeah, it's been fascinating to watch it, see it close hand and see how he operates. It's it's really a surfer at the very, very top of his game, and also scarily getting better and better.
Speaking of a surfer at the top of their game at the moment, Joanne Fay with a good lead in this one, but Nadia Starbate needs a 7.01. She's already got 7.27 in the bag. Here goes Fay, our Jeep leader of the Euro Cup, looking for a second back-to-back event win in Europe this autumn, swinging on a good-sized meaty wave out the back. It's always kind of hard to judge what's going on down the line from this angle. She's seen something she likes, she'll fang into the lip, and then go straight into another bottom turn. There's a nice rail carve from her, and she'll just lean it back into that white water. Doesn't get that finish in the lip on the end, but a well-ridden wave. 6.77 the back up, 7.5 the high, under the 10-minute mark, Ben.
Yeah, she was a little bit upset she missed that last connection on the inside. But they say in surfing that if you've got a roundhouse cutback, and that's what she's doing there. So roundhouse cutback is where you arc back to the foam and hit the foam and come back. And when that's starting to work, then everything else tends to click into gear. And just in those couple of roundhouse turns, she was looking really solid. And that's just what I thought. I mean, there's some bump here. You'll see those ribs at the face. That's where she got caught. And she'll be disappointed that she didn't sort of drive through that last bit and connect on the inside, but she still put together some strong turns.
Live action. Here goes our bass surfer on the backhand. It's the youngster Aristabe, and there's that venom. She's got such a good vertical backhand hit. She's used it really well throughout this event. She'll go on a bit of a hunt for a steep section through here. If she can connect, she might get a little cooperative inside. Building up some speed. Still trying to set this one up. It's a little bit awkward for her. Finally, she'll come through to the inside. Doesn't really get to take on the lip with that turn. She might do here, though. And it's nicely done from her. I'll tell you how many of those maneuvers have we seen from Nadia. Good stuff from her, and she's not lying down for Joanne.
On the Aristabe backhand belt count, I'm up to 84 at the moment. And I'll tell you what, the first two were some of the best I've seen from her. This first one is right in the pocket. And even the second foam climb's got a bit of kick to it as she just slides her tail out. So she's in form, and her confidence is growing and growing as she's progressed through all these heats. And I'll tell you what, this wave was a lot of sort of hard work through the section, but unlike her competitor Joanne, she managed to get a little turn to the inside and finished it off. This is a strong finish. You just see that sort of tail kick out, and she's even, for her, that was almost a claim, a sign of real exuberance on the inside. So prior to Joanne's wave, she needed to score. I might let you, Paul, talk us through the numbers, but that was impressive surfing.
7.01 the requirement for her. If we contrast this to the 7.27, we might have missed an opening manoeuvre on that wave. We only really saw one legit one when we rolled the tape back, so it's quite hard to compare. But looking good value. The judge has been enjoying that backhand turn from her. That's nice aggression. Talking about critical sections of the wave. She's right up there. That steepest part of the wave. Nice degree of difficulty as well in terms of Adilo has closed out section. It's not an easy section to hit at all. Almost like goes soft and then sort of rumbles and picks up speed as it breaks on that inside bowl. So let's see how the judges will work that one out. To 7:20 left to go. This could be a clutch moment in the heat here, Ben. Wherever the score comes in, it's going to set us up for a final 5 or so minutes, and it could be interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. And I'll tell you what also is hard is to get a solid turn out the back on that first turn. Often you'll see these guys take off and it's pretty flat and they just sort of guide through the first turn and then rip into a section as it stands up. But on Nadia's wave, her first turn was pretty 12 o'clock, pretty vertical. So that's also going to factor into the judges' score. And she's paddling back out. Yeah, I think you're right. If she gets a 7 and goes into the lead, she'll have to hang on as Joanne comes at us really strong. If she doesn't get it, she's right back in the game with a lower score. So either way, yeah, we're set up for a pretty, hopefully, epic 6.5 minutes of this final.
That was the 6 wave there from the Basque Aristabe. Judges are processing a number on it as we speak, waiting to nail a score. If it's bigger than 7.01, she will go into first place. Priority is with Joanne Fay, waiting patiently out the back. You'd be hoping there's certainly more sets left in this final. Just over the 6 minutes to go. Number's going to come in. Looks like it's not going to be enough. She might improve on her backup. She's not going to get the score required. It comes in as a 6.07. So around about a point short of the requirement. And she'll replace her backup. But when you replace your backup, what that essentially means is the requirement score stays the same. It's still a 7.01. It's still Joanne Fay, cheap leader from the Euro Cup of Surfing. And at the moment, leading this heat, looking like she's on her way to back-to-back wins here.
Yeah, unfortunately for Nadia, I think it was that middle section where she just didn't get any turns in whatsoever. She had a good first turn and good last turn, but there was probably good 250 metres of sort of fairly straight action, which meant that she got the 6, but not that extra point. I think would have needed maybe 1 or 2 turns on a steeper section to really have rattled Joanne's cage as it stands. I think her confidence will be there if the score wasn't. And she's got 5 minutes to try and find another point more than she got on that wave.
Let's check out the heat recap and see how this final of the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing's played out. Woman there, Joanne Fay. Well, it was actually Nadia Aristabe who opened up with a bang here, Ben.
Yeah, straight up into it. And this was the turn that I love that turn. And this is what set us up for a great final, really. Nadia has stepped up in what might be the biggest heat of her life. And she's shown really good form and really good commitment. Just gets it up there again. So it's that type of surfing under pressure that's meant that we're in a real battle here. Of course, so Joanne Fay, she's the one that's not going to lie down. She's been picking on the bigger waves. She's made a couple of small errors, but on the whole, she's surfed with real, just, I don't know, not so much radical surf, just smooth, composed, and that amazing technique like that. So, yeah, that's why she's got the lead. This was a long wave that she worked hard. This was 7.5, and she surfed on it really, really well. This was a backup, and she got this pretty much straight away. So she went back out, and this is the finish I love. With that close out Rio, fins out, she gained the lead. But our competitor, the young Basque surfer, did not give in, and has came back strong this way. We thought could have potentially been the 7 that she needed. Was just this section here that unfortunately sort of limited the scoring potential. She finished strong as she does on most of her waves, but unfortunately it was a point short. She's back out there now needing a solid score. I could think of the classic Aristabe stab as it's known as of just now. And she's still in the game, 3.5 minutes. She'll be nervous, and hopefully we'll just get another set or 2 where these surfers can really fight it out to the end.
Fay just over 3 minutes away from back-to-back wins in the Euro Cup. She's already taken out that Euro Cup by virtue of the fact she's made the final here and the win at the French Rendezvous. She will be the Euro Cup champion from our World Surf League Countdown Series. But can she go with back-to-back wins? At the moment, she's looking decent for it. Under that 3-minute mark, that requirement of a 7.01 still remains for Nadia Aristabe. First priority is with Joanne Fay. And we know all about what happens to surfers with priority coming into the final few minutes. She'll be keeping a close eye on Aristabe, sitting just inside her as she is now, and deciding if she likes the look of any waves that come through that might have the potential for the score required by the surfer in second place. That one obviously didn't. No takers on that. Joanne Fay, it's hard to argue really with her performances. Just in terms of the consistency, Ben, you know, you mentioned a couple of mistakes, relatively by her own very high standards, but in terms of heats, she never really gets rattled. Positioning's always good. She's got really good read on the wave, good pace to her surfing. Very impressive package when you wrap it all up.
Yeah, well, it's proved unbeatable over the last 2 weeks here in Europe. The combination is deadly. You know, she's been the only CT surfer in the field, so let's, you know, that is a factor. She's you know, the highest seed by a little standard, but just to watch her, the way she operates and the way she surfs, it's been a pleasure. I just forgot how good she is.
So a couple of quick hits for her, a swooping jam in the pocket, and then she'll just clip that lip to finish off. I don't think she'll threaten a high score as we go down towards that 90-second mark. You see Attilo Ferreira in the Jeep leader jersey paddling out for the men's final. Time ticking away here for Aristide. You mentioned the fact that she's the sole representative from the championship tour. We've had a bunch of representation on the men's side though, and I think that's one of the stories is about there's up-and-coming surfers for the women, and now that Aristide, she's kind of carrying that flag of the next generation. It's really cool to see her making the final.
Yeah, definitely. Even if she doesn't get the wave she needs in the last minute, she'll be so proud of herself and so stoked with the way she surfed. A massive confidence booster. She hopefully moves on to the QS series in 2021. So important. Probably one of the big factors for Joanne is, have they got space in the van for the trophy, Paul? Have you had to talk about, have they made knocked up a little spare? Because there's not a lot of room in those things.
It's the classic under the bed, isn't it? Keep the boards, keep your trophies. Here's live action. Here goes Aristide looking for 701. Good looking wave for the Basque. She'll climb the foam and she'll go down. And that's not going to be the score she requires. With just 30 to go, she'll paddle back out, but it's probably going to be a case of too little, too late. Let's just watch this one unfold. Joanne Fay. Well, that's Aristide, excuse me, just desperately trying. That's all she could really do, just try and catch something. But meanwhile, here's Joanne.
Well, this is a victory lap, Paul.
She'll bring this one in. It's actually a good-looking wave setting up here. She'll surf this one all the way through. Joanne Fay just standing on the tail and watching this thing as I look out the back to see what's there. We're going to hear the countdown here. She's going to hear the horn while she's riding this one in. And she has looked composed. Very, very strong. There's the French crew. Pauline Nadeau, of course, another former CT surfer. Very in form in the Euro Cup. And there's your champion of the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing for the women. Joanne Fay is also the Euro Cup champion. 2 wins from 2 events. It's hard to argue with that, Ben.
It's impossible to even put up any type of argument with the surfing she's done and the way she's carried herself. And in terms of coming back to elite competition and you know, showing what you've got for the next year, you could have done any better. But this girl has been so impressive. I'm so happy to see Nadia Aristide hit that next level. And yeah, she's you know, I think to surf in a final against this caliber of surfing is going to be great for her future. But there can only be one winner, and she's got that winning feeling, hasn't she?
Your champion for the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing for the women is Joanne Fay of France at a Reunion Island. Only back over in Europe for a couple of weeks. Flew in the week before the French rendezvous. She took that event out in Anglet. She's taken this event out in Ribeira de Lias. Let's go down and hear from her right now. Diogo, take it away.
Yeah, Joanne, huge congratulations. 2 wins in a row. How does it feel?
It's great. It feels great. And it's super fun right now. In the water, it's like glassy, and so I feel like we end up in the good waves, and which feels good.
What's next? You must feel really great. So stick in Portugal again, go surfing, enjoying. What you gonna do with this winning?
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna stay around a little bit, and like I said earlier, I'm gonna go check Deeply Factory up in Porto a little bit, and yeah, just try to find some good wave around here, cruise, and then go back to France later next week.
Huge congratulations again, and welcome to Portugal once again.
In the water, yellow Attilo Ferreira from Brazil.
By Joanne Fay, she surfed really well, very good value, and that's a great display there. She'll go over And just congratulate and commiserate our losing finalists. Nice scenes here on the beach at Ribeira de Les. Golden sunshine. The waves are pumping. Men's finals coming up soon. Italo Ferreira. He's taking on Frederico Maurice. What a final. Join us for it live right after this.
O Frederico Moraes venceu o circuito mundial de qualificação. E aí vem ele já a provar o Frederico Moraes.
The Countdown Series Euro Cup draws its close. Just one more heat to dispute, and it's a big one. It sees Attilo Ferreira, champion of the Euro Cup, top of the Jeep leaderboard, taking on Frederico Maurice of Portugal. Came through a clutch heat in the semi against Kanoe Igarashi. Surfing in his home from home. He's earned himself a shot at the champ, and he'll be absolutely fired up. His coach on the beach, Richard Marsh, imparting some last-minute instructions for him on what it's going to take. They'll have done their homework Monday, and they'll have worked out exactly the kind of surfing he needs to do to have a chance at getting past Attilo Ferreira. Which, in terms of the odds and the form guide, it's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, they'll have a good plan, and the plan will be stick to his strengths, and that's the best waves. Use his power and his calves. And if he can get two, cracking waves, he's going to put pressure on Italo. And he's off to a strong start here. So you see that nice, clean face. And this is Maurice. He just drives down through the sections. He always kicks the tail out whenever he gets the opportunity. Back to that. It's a trademark whip. Sometimes lacks variety, but what he lacks variety matches with loads of power and real composure. That's a great way. This is not easy, Rave. See the bumps and the rocks, and he finishes off so strong. You remember, this is a guy that I think he's, for me, probably his career highlight was in J Bay, and it was 8 foot and perfect. And over the course of going to the final, he beat John Florence, he beat Mick Fanning, he beat Gabriel Medina. So he's beat world champions before. He's got it in his locker, and it's a strong start with that wave. That's just what he needs to do to put some pressure on.
Yeah, 6-5 in for Fred Maurice. It's good surfing from him, taking it all the way to the inside as we take a look at our Euro Cup winner in that #1 spot on the Jeep leaderboard. Of course, our reigning world champ from 2019. He'll carry that over to the 2021 season, which will kick off the Bonsai Pipeline in December. A couple of months away from that. That's why we're hosting these Countdown Series events to warm ourselves up again for elite level competition. Can't wait for that. But at the moment, all eyes focused on this final, and just to see the display, what this man's got. He's such a natural performer. And here he goes on a good looking section. There's the whip from the tail straight onto the gas. Beautiful looking glassy section. Even more release on that one.
Oh.
And a couple of little minor errors there from him, but he manages to hang on. And he'll look through for an inside in here. See this one will stand up or not. He's looking down the line, and actually that one won't cooperate for him. So relatively speaking for Italo, that's not exactly the kind of wave he was after. We used to seeing him finish with a flourish. Didn't happen for him, but some good stuff down out the back, Ben.
Yeah, he's got that whip through the turn, as you said. I just had a sharp intake of breath. He got a little bit unstuck there. He almost lost it here too, and almost ran over his competitor. And just to see a wobble, even that on that flat section, was a bit unusual. And you never the wave never recovered from that. So 2 turns out the back. He looked sharp on those 2 turns, but uncharacteristic. A couple of bobbles, and he'll be back out needing to improve on that. That his opening wave. Gee, the face looks good though. How's that texture on that wave, Paul?
Joanne Lefebvre mentioned how glassy it was. Do you know what? He got so close to Fred right there. And I tell you what, I reckon Italo will be a little bit annoyed after this wave as he comes in. It didn't cooperate for an inside, and he'll be like, how dare you, Ribeira de Les? Where was my inside section? So he will paddle out. His score will drop at some point, and will give us not really a situation. Obviously, just one wave apiece, but but someone will have got the better of that exchange. Let's see if he can get past the 6-5 for Frederico. Much more sort of rail stuff from Frederico. It's the flick of the tail on that release from Ferreira. Didn't get a tee off on a lip on the inside. He'll make his way back out. 29.5 remaining in this one. Bags and bags of time, but expect to see him just fire up. And when he gets halfway out the back and sees opportunities, he will not be shy to spin and go. Having a little look, doing exactly that on this one. No opportunity in there. Gets in as a 4. So Federico gets the better of that by some measure. Just a 4-point ride for Ferreira, and he'll be a little bit rattled. He didn't put more on the board. It's unusual to see him get a 4 on a wave that he rides all the way to completion.
Yeah, that's right. But I think, as you see more sets approaching, I think Federico, although he got the best of that exchange, he'll have some concerns as well, because that was a very good set wave. He surfed it very well. He only got 6.5, so he'll know that he'll have to put more into those waves. He'll either have to get better waves, or he'll have to just open up a bit more, throw a bit of risk. And it's a solid start, but against a world champion, that's a warning sign that the judges will want and need more in the final. And he'll be just sort of contemplating on how he can improve on his surfing as he just bides his time and waits for the set. There's a lot of distance between the two. Italo just hunting that little inside section as he does.
Yeah, absolutely. Just totally on his own game. He's in his own headspace. I mean, just a sneak peek inside that headspace. Sort of a frightening prospect.
There's a lot going on there. It's like watching the Skull Crusher. He's just momentum, always forward, always thinking about what can I do, how can I improve, how can I do bigger turns. And it'd be a lot of noise, a lot of white noise, a lot of heat.
Meanwhile, out the back, a picture of calm and composure. Federico Maurice, just to the right of the centre of your shot there, will now be joined by Attilo Ferreira, who's made up that ground. Decided to join Federico on the peak. First priority is with Fred, and he won't even turn ahead with any vague interest at these little opportunities that don't offer anything like the kind of score he'll feel is the sort of number he needs to take out this event. But I tell you what, he's on his home patch. He's got a scent of blood already with a decent score of 6-5. He's in a final. He's taken on the world champ. That's all the motivation he needs. Loves surfing at any level, Federico, but a win here in Portugal, we know how much that means to our hometown athletes. But definitely the hardest heat he'll have surfed in a while. Let's see as we pick up Italo, just kind of lurking on that inside section there. That's a total display of intent. Well, it doesn't have priority, and some of these little ones, they do kind of miss that outside section and stand up. That's exactly what I think he's looking for in there, Ben.
Yeah, definitely. While he doesn't have priority, this is his game plan. He'll try and find one of those smaller waves, but that stand up straight, and he can unleash. And if that doesn't work, he'll go back out. He's always moving. He's always thinking. I think the strategic element of his surfing is actually underrated. I think because we're so focused, understandably, on his explosive power and his aerials and his ability to really surprise you with some of his innovation. Behind all that is just a ruthless contest machine. He's Brazilian. He's grown up with the Medinas, the Toledos. He's been schooled by those guys growing up. He's a fierce competitor, and that side of his surfing is also improving. So that's what makes him so lethal.
Absolutely. He's already taken out the Euro Cup. Can he take out the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing to go for 2 wins? At the moment, just the one wave ridden. As we get down underneath that 26 minutes to go, so plenty of time still left in the seats. But even just after that first exchange, Italo will be thinking, you know what, it's not enough points that I would have wanted from my opening wave, a 4-point ride, and he'll be fired up. Don't worry about that. The intensity from him is one of the things that's impressed us. You think about champions, we've talked about it before already on the broadcast, but you can understand just that natural sort of release of air and like relaxing a little bit. Not at all. And it's, the fact that he's over here competing just shows how much he loves to win.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you need all that to be a champion. The drive is relentless, and he's got it for sure.
Speaking of all the key ingredients needed to put together successful competitive campaigns, we've got Richard Dugmarsh. He's coach for Federico Maurice, and he's down there with Diogo.
How you manage your nerves before a hit like this?
It's the good part of the job, actually, because your job's done. Once they paddle out, I don't do hand signals or any of that sort of stuff. So after that, I do get a bit nervous, but really, you got to just enjoy the moment, right? He's got to the he's got to the final, and he surfed really well the last couple of heats. He's against the world champ, so it's the world WQS champ against the world CT champ. It's a pretty cool matchup, and you know, in Portugal, I'm really stoked for him.
How are you doing with these tricky young guns like Leo?
Oh mate, it's like taming animals, you know. You're herding rabbits all day. Feel sorry for me.
Thanks for the insight, Doc. Back to you, boys.
All right, here goes Italo Ferreira, live action from him. He's found one of those inside waves, and he's looking for a ramp hit. Won't cooperate for him, though. And as he comes out of that floater maneuver, he'll go down quite hard. That's the one that kind of makes the ear ring or the cheek a little bit as you go down on the flats. The thing about Leo Furifans, he's got no sense of humour, as he's so serious.
He's
Why
so
serious, Leo?
Exactly. And what an insight into Dog's world, from trying to strategize, you know, Portugal's best surfer against the world's best surfer, to looking after little groms like that who are non-stop, always looking to poke something in your ear hole. So a real, you know, that's a coach's job is, you know, there's a lot to it, and we just saw a pretty good snapshot of the fun and the seriousness that can happen. But Italo, I tell you what, he's just not had he's the customary smart start that he likes to get. He likes to stay busy. He likes to put points on the board, and he'll need to reset pretty soon, I reckon.
Energy out of the Atlantic shaping up here. We've got some sets hitting the reef at Ribera Dilius. Frederico Maurice is exactly the kind of wave he's looking for. Meanwhile, Ferreira will go a little bit more scattergun on the inside. He's up again. Found an inside wave here. And he'll clip one, a little banking swoop. And then get a little bit of pumping going down the line. He'll go into the lip here. And again, he's fallen off. This is uncharacteristic from him. There's not a lot happening on that wave anyway. It's kind of relatively insignificant in terms of the points on offer, but just in terms of his own personal performance, there's loads of time yet to go, but relatively, he's looked a little bit out of sorts here so far, Ben.
Yeah, he has. He hasn't been able to, really sort of string together a lot of turns. And, he's fallen off. He's bobbled a couple of times. And, yeah, there's no real reason you can put your finger on it. He's on the same board that he's been ripping on the whole time. He's been surfing this wave all week and surfing it really well. His wave selection's been great. And it's just been a weird 10 minutes, and expect him to change that pretty fast, I reckon.
We get another paddle, and he's up again. His fourth effort of this men's final. He'll float over a big section, keep the speed going. It's really nicely done, so smooth on that. The speed just maintained throughout, a little whip and jam around. And now looking at steeper section here, and it'll set up for him. A little crack off the top. And he'll go into the inside bowl, and that's really nice. He'll release the fins. He is really close to terra firma down in there. And that was really nicely done. There's the support crew cheering on that effort. Much better stuff from Ferreira. Let's see how the judges go on that before we get to the judging. Let's have a look at the replay here, Mundy.
Yeah, this was not an easy wave to surf, because that first sort of 300 yards was really fast, and he just climbed over it. And then we talked about him clicking back into gear, and just as this wave unfolded, you can see the gears, first to second and into third, and then just at the end he cranked into fourth. Again, that is so hard to get both release and fins out and do it just before you dry dock yourself on 4 million year old basalt. So really impressive surfing. He's back in the game, put it that way.
Get another look at this finish on the inside. Sets it up with that turn, doesn't he? He waits for this nice little coping section and just drifts the fins in there. And as soon as he's completed that maneuver, he is out, because that's going dry in there. Judges will process the number. And he needs a 2.51 to first. Let's not get too caught up in that for the moment. Only one wave ridden by Fred Maurice out the back. 20.5 minutes remaining. Plenty of time in this men's final. And in the meantime, let's go down the beach and hear from Mariana. That's Italo's partner. She's standing by with Diogo.
Yeah, that's true, Paul. Thanks. So, Mariana, how you manage your nerves? It's the same question as I've done to Doc. How you manage your nerves during a heat like this?
I don't. That's why I'm freaking out always. Really, it's impossible. I mean, I have to be more calm than him, because if I don't, I don't know. But it's really hard, for sure.
How much Italo wants to win this contest?
He always wants to win like 100%. That's all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to you, boys.
All right, good stuff. 100% commitment to the course from Attilo Ferreira, and a 5-point ride for him. Comes in from the judges for that last effort. Goes along with his 4. So for 4 ways ridden, he's got 9 points at the moment. That's quite a meager return by his own standards. Meanwhile, there's Frederico Maurice, who only needs a 2-5 to get back in the lead. But certainly thinking about bigger numbers than that, as he took this opportunity after a big patient wait outside. And speaking of patience, you'll have to maintain that throughout most of this wave. So he'll wait for an inside to stand up, just kind of shifting, going through the motions, and then gets a nice little bowl. There's a good rail jam from him. There's that trademark turn, and he has a little look for good measure at the beach and says, what do you reckon about that, judges? What do you reckon about that, Mundy?
Yeah, it was, I mean, a really well set. This is out the back. There's a bit of foam, but he's such as his power. That JS just drives through that foam. This section was, and this is why this wave becomes difficult, because this is you know, he's moving at pace, but there's no real open or steep face to work with. He's not getting any points, and he knows it. So now he's all thinking about this last turn. He's got to get some banker, and again, doesn't let you do a big air, doesn't let you kind of open up, but you need to finish it, and he does well. He kicks the tail out, so you know, it's impressive surfing. It's what we come to expect from Fred. You know, it's smooth, it's powerful, mistake free, and he's building a house. He's gonna probably have to do a little bit more, I think, to beat the world champion, but he's, you know, he's been patient. He looks good.
Maurice getting another look at the inside section from him in peak physical condition, and knows so much about this wave as well, and using all of that stamina, finishes off with a plomb on the insides, and he's fired up. He likes it. He's been pretty patient out the back, and our surfers, goes without saying, feel a lot better when they're riding waves and sitting there waiting for him. That's going to feel pretty good for him. The score will come in shortly as the judges process on it, whatever it is. Well, as long as it's bigger than a 2-5, which it certainly will be, it'll put him back in the first place, and it'll give us our first kind of legit situation of this final. Beautiful scenes from the cliff top here. World Surfing Reserve of Ericeira, Ribeira Dilias is our final. Welcome to wherever you're tuning in from. This World Surf League's Countdown Series Euro Cup wrapping up. We've already crowned Joanne de Fate as event champion, as well as the Euro Cup champion. Attilo Ferreira has also taken out the Euro Cup for the men. Can he take out the Portugal Cup of Surfing? He's going to be in second place, requiring a score shortly when the score comes in, as we see some encouraging signs in the form of stacked lines. Ben, we need a little bit of this.
Yeah, we
need
do.
A lot.
They've been marching in. The beauty of this, it's like a half mile of reef almost, and you can see those lines. They break on the outer section of the reef, and they start to cap further in. So you can see them coming from all way, and these waves look, they're solid. Some of the biggest waves we may have seen all day.
Down to business. Ferreira climbs some foam. Already going a million miles an hour straight from the get-go. Clip one off the top. Just bank that one around, leaning into that bottom turn, still setting up, getting real low and compact to his board. Stands on the tail a little bit through here, and this one will set up for him, just fanging that tail release. Now we'll look going to the lip. It's a big hit with nice airdrop on the end. Guess what? It's got another bonus section as well, and again, similar sort of stuff, just setting up. Waiting for this one to get steep enough for him, being patient, but also staying lively and dynamic, and just belting this one. He surfed all the way around the corner. Our camera position can't pick up where he's gone, but a good wave from him. So we're going to get a couple of scores coming in. Meanwhile, more live action. Maurice on a good looking wave. So this one's coming to life. We needed some sets. And Freddie belting one, keeping his speed going down the line. That's nice from him. Nice little tweak, and then on the rail, really good combination. There's 4 great turns on the end. He's absolutely fired up. He's asked a question of the judges, and this is a real turning point in terms of the excitement factor, because we've ratcheted it up in here, Mundy.
Yeah, we really have. That was an amazing exchange. Freddie got it back out. He got a 6-7 for that last one, and he was just got out in time to get that set. Meanwhile, Italo was fanging down the line so fast, and it's going to be incredible. This is one we didn't see from out the back, so Freddie just sees that little point, and he got so much done on the inside. That section on the inside, it didn't look like it was going to provide 4 or 5 turns. He timed it so well. There's 1, there's 2, there's the 3rd, and there's no transition before, and there's the 4th, and that's 4 turns in the space of 50 yards, done at pace with no jitters in between, and he loved it.
This thing's on the cook now, Mundy. This is the final we were sort of hoping for, and it's come to life around about that 15-minute mark. This is what Ferreira got done. bit more downtime between his manoeuvres. He even surfed his way into the next bay. How do you like this stuff from Ferreira?
Yeah, there's one big turn here. This clip here, he airdrops out of the lip. He sees it here, drops down. You think it might be all over, but it's not. Not the sort of quick fire, rapid transition on a steep face that Fred had. He had to wait for it, work harder for it, and he ended up belting that end section as well. So, I mean, it's incredible surfing from both surfers. Yeah, it's caught a fire. Those sets are pouring in. The tide's dropping out. It just looks set up just the way we wanted it, Paul Evans.
A frenzy of activity. A 6.77 drops for Maurice. Goes back to first. He's got another score to come in too. And by all accounts, certainly by reading his own body language, he preferred that last wave. So let's see if he'll improve further on that. He's in the lead at the moment. Under that 14-minute mark, we've got a score to drop in for Ferreira as well. Just a 4 and a 5. MEGA returns. We're going to get a quick commercial break. We'll be back with those scores when the judges process them. We're going to wrap up the final right after this commercial. Join us for more live from Portugal right after this. Men's final for the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing has come to life as we get into the second part of this final. And after a slow start, things are really starting to cook now. And judges have got their work cut out, assigning some scores. A couple of numbers going to come in, crucial numbers as well. The requirement for Ferreira at the moment is an 8.27. They've got another score to come in for Frederico, Maurice and Ben at the moment. This is looking like a pretty good final for Fred Maurice. Meanwhile, live action here from Italo Ferreira, and he'll belt one. A little inside runner here, and he'll just slide into that next turn straight away. Just keep S-ing through here and look for a steep section. He's spent quite a bit of time in his waves on this final, standing on the tail of his board, waiting for sections to cooperate, and he'll go into a little fin ditch, reversing the whitewater, which is unsuccessful ultimately for him. So Frederico out the back did have the priority. So the previous to last score comes in for Italo as a 7.33. 7.33 comes in for previous to last of him. He's still in second place with that score. We've got a number to come in for Fred. It's his third wave from the Portuguese, and we reckon it's going to be a healthy number. He's waiting. He knows it's going to be a decent score. He felt that as he finished his ride. And we could see, when this score comes in, a situation where Attilo Ferreira's in a spot of trouble, Ben.
Whoa, I haven't heard that in a while. He hasn't lost. Let's go through it. Remember, we talked about this. He won in Portugal last year in the MEO Portugal Pro. He won in Pipe to win the world title. He won in Brazil, the Omdia, when it came back in the special event. He's won in France. He's in the final here. So the last sort of 5 events he's entered, he hasn't lost a heat. But with 10 minutes to go, yeah, you're right. He could be facing a big battle, because there could be some big numbers dropping from Fred. He's almost played into Fred's hands a bit here, I think. He's sort of been hunting those insides. He's left Fred just out there on his own. That's the way Maurice prefers to operate, waiting for the big ones, staying calm, and he hasn't sort of worried him in any shape or form. And Italo hunting those inside ones, it hasn't paid off as yet, and he could be facing a big score here to get back in the final.
Fred Maurice has a score coming in. He's already got a lead, and he's going to extend, we reckon, by quite some measure at the moment. As we see those evening sunlight, that sun will just dip down, and about an hour left of light. Just under 10 minutes left in this heat, and massive numbers in for Frederico Maurice. He's lit up this final. It's an 8-8-3, and he's got a big lead right now of Attilo Ferreira. That's not something we've said throughout the Euro Cup, but the requirement for Attilo Ferreira with 9:40 on the clock, 8-2-7. Ben, he needs to dig deep here.
Yeah, that's not a problem. He won't be, you know, he won't be afraid to dig deep. He won't be afraid to put it all on the line. An 8.28 is a big score here. There's problems with those 5s and 4s. He's been, you know, spending lots of time and energy on getting 4s and 1s and 5s and traveling lots of distance to do it. That's been his rare error. And now he needs a big score. I mean, of course, Attilo Ferreira has got a big score in him. He's, you know, one turn is a 10. He's got that, obviously, in his locker. But tell you what, Fred Maurice has so far played the perfect heat for the current circumstances and the current conditions. He'll be really happy where he stands right now.
9 to go in our men's final, wrapping up the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing. Frederico Maurice had a cash case. Portugal had a ton of success at this venue in his home nation, and he's looking to carry that over here, and this would be a massive confidence boost. Not something he's short of, but it'll be a real shot in the arm in terms of Frederico Maurice taking out a win of Attilo Ferreira, who's just come in scintillating form into this, but there's still 8.5 minutes, and that 8-2-8 is very much a kettlebell score for the likes of Attilo Ferreira. Still got time as well. But as you said, Ben, that approach going to the inside, just the waves haven't really paid off. Some of those inside ones sometimes offer up good little bonus sections. His waves have just faded out a little bit through the inside. And that's definitely been reflecting not only by surfing, but also by the scores come through. By contrast, Maurice has been able to pick out the quality. Let's check out the recap and see how this one's gone down. The final has pitted our 2 informed surfers, and this guy here, Fred Maurice, opened with a bang.
Yeah, Fred's only had 3 waves, and the first one was a 6.5, and he backed it up straight away with this is a 6.77, just a slow sort of middle bit. Just waited to put on the gas. As soon as it stands up, this inside section, well, he knows it so well. Often you can get a lot of points on this middle bit here. Getting pace, getting steam, and kicking the tail out. So you can just see him starting to warm up, starting to get a bit of confidence. It's low. He's playing a different game. His waves here, you're right, they just never quite allowed him to, you know, he's all about that tail release, that big squirt as he goes up into the lip, and he hasn't been able to do this because the waves have been pretty flat. When he has, they're sharp like that. And on the inside, they are, I mean, it's an amazing surf. It's so difficult. So this is his best wave of 7.33. Probably the only wave that's allowed him to really put on the afterburners and show those fins and get this toe release, which he does on the inside again. So he's fought back, but then just as he was back in the game, as his partner Marianne, said she doesn't handle the nerves. She was happy with this, but this is the wave where Fred got all his confidence from. Not a whole lot happening at the back. He surfed it well, but it was this section here. You could just see him getting stronger and stronger each turn, the confidence building. And once he gets in this mood, he really can put it on the line, and you watch this, what it means to him. That's Freddie at his best, when he's super pumped, when he's connecting turns at pace, and he builds on that sort of vibe, and that's an 8.83, and it's got him in a really strong position as we count down to the final.
Fred Maurice, loving life at the moment, just over the 6-minute mark remaining in this, got priority as well, so he'll be able to strike first on the next set that comes through. Make up the silhouetted figure of Attilo Ferreira to the left of his shot there, sitting on the inside. He'll be a little bit baffled in terms of the way this one's gone. Does have that 7.33. Needs to go about a point bigger than that to get into the lead, assuming, of course, Frederico Maurice doesn't improve his score and you get down towards the 5-minute. You know what Italo's capable of, but you'd much rather have the points in the bank, and that's what Maurice has got.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you couldn't ask for really a strong position to be 5 minutes left to go with the final, with you know, a 6.77 that he can improve on, and in priority, and Italo needing an 8.28. Well, he would have absolutely, he would have beat your arm off if you gave him that situation at the start of the final. He knows it's not down there. You can never relax. I mean, it must be one of the most perhaps nerve-wracking position in surfing, knowing that you've got Attilo Ferreira underneath you, needing a big score and knowing what he's capable of. You'd be nervous.
He would be nervous, but I don't think there's anyone better prepared, not only in terms of his surfing, but just in terms of managing a heat. You get down towards that final minute. Him and Richard Marsh, they'll have a strategy for this, you know, where to be in the last 5 minutes. If you're leading, what do you want to do? All that stuff will have been worked out. And obviously, fortune favours the well-prepared. Frederico Maurice, definitely someone that does his homework, both before he gets to the beach, but also just right before he paddles out as well. And he'll have done all the preparation in terms of his strategy.
While having a nap. Yeah, wouldn't have a nap in the break. What are you talking about? No, I get you. You're right. He's one of the most well-prepared and professional athletes out there. I mean, all these guys at this level are incredible athletes. But, yeah, he takes his time. He thinks about these through. And with Richard, they've worked together since Fred was, 15 or 16. It's been a decade-long partnership where they play to each other's strengths. But you can't mitigate against Attilo Ferreira. That's the one sort of potential hole in the plan, is Italo getting away and doing something absolutely remarkable. But, yeah, he'll be ready. He knows what he has to do, and he's got 4 minutes to close this heat out, and there's very few better surfers in world surfing that can do that than Fred Maurice.
Italo just getting into his field of vision there, just kind of paddling out and just asking a question, trying to ruffle some of those Maurice feathers. I'll tell you what, the plumage at the moment seems in pretty good order as he sits on a big fat lead. 3:40 remaining in this final. We haven't seen Ferreira on the ropes, and we're asking a different question from him. 828, that requirement. If we see him go big with a Hail Mary air, that score is totally gettable. But in order to do that, he needs to find a section, and it's not cooperated for him in this one. We've seen him looking for those ramps, and they've just not been forthcoming, Ben.
Yeah, there's very few ramps, and even when they have found them, the best guys in the world, guys like, well, himself obviously, but Kanoa as well, they haven't been able to get the amplitude and that real sort of, fins first or that type of really progressive aerial. So it's difficult to do. I mean, a few people, anyone, if they can do it, but it's not a wave that sets itself up naturally for that type of, Hail Mary. So, Fred will know that. He'll just actually be waiting for one big set where he can actually improve on his score. I mean, that's all I'd imagine all's going through his head right now, trying to actually park any thoughts of the world champion and just totally concentrate on what he can do to improve his score.
Yeah, with that back up at 677, I reckon that'll be Maurice's plan, just improve on that. He already needs a big number. His opponent in 828, he'll just be looking to take his score further up at the first opportunity. Time really not on the Brazilian, the world champion side now. Getting down to 220, and we're going to get at best maybe 2 sets, 1 if we're lucky, in terms of wave riding in this seat. And Ferreira's going to have to go something at some stage, just go pretty nuts. This being a reef point, don't get a whole lot of insiders. It does depend on the conditions, of course, but the slightly more long period swell that we got today don't tend to get a lot of inside wave action. And in terms of just trying to snaffle something from under your opponent's priority, it's not ideal. Attilo Ferreira, a lot he can do at the moment, just kind of sit there and wait for his luck to change, Ben.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the beauty of Portugal is these long period, 12, 13 second period swells that come in, they march into the Atlantic, they stack up in 4 or 5 wave sets. So when it's pumping, that's amazing. But when you're in a competition, you're trying to get something with 90 seconds against you. That long period is your enemy. Fred's just hoping that goes dead. He's hoping for a mill pond. But hopefully we'll get one more set. We'll get one more chance to see the world champ, see if he can dig himself out of this substantial hole he's in. Otherwise, we've got a MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing winner who's from this area, and it'll be an incredible result for Portugal.
Just about a minute away for Frederico Maurice at the moment, looking really, really strong here. And the chances are slipping away for Attilo Ferreira to take out this win, to go back-to-back with his French rendezvous win up in France in Anglet last week. Frederico Maurice, who didn't win his first round heat, had to surf in round 2. A little bit of a fire in him. He already comes with the intensity enough as it is, but he's had a smart game plan in this one. It's all very well having the game plan, you still need to execute. And he really turned the screw with that 8-8-3. Last little opportunity coming through here. Maurice, of course, with that priority. Ferreira just needs to go something. So it's pretty much got to go this wave. And if and when he does, you can be fairly sure. Oh, okay, Fred's let him go. It's just a really small effort. And it looks like he's not even going to let him on. And we'll count down. Doesn't look like there's any more opportunity at all. And it looks like Frederico Maurice is going to take this one out. We don't have our customary beach crowds in Portugal that we've come to enjoy due to COVID restrictions. But nevertheless, You can just sense a general air of support for Fred Maurice. The Portuguese love their surfers, and they really get behind them with fantastic support. And it's been a great final for Frederico Maurice. It's been good value for his win. He got the better waves, he surfed them better. And a little bit of an upset there, Mundy.
Yeah, massive upset. I mean, Attilo Ferreira was just on such good form. He'd won everything before him, and that's an incredible result for Fred. He'll, you know, he'll get back on the CT this year. Unfortunately, he wasn't allowed to, or with the cancellations, he didn't get his chance to show what he can do. So, on his first sort of foray back into elite level surfing on his sort of home beach or his home, you know, home country, to get this win over the world champ, that's a massive result. And I'll tell you what, it might be no points or ratings, but this will be massive news in Portugal. This will be, you know, this will be on the TV. This will be huge. There's Richard Marsh, and he's happy as well. He should be, if a little sunburnt, I might add. There's his Fred's girlfriend. She's his partner. So a happy kick-ass camp, and I think it's a remarkable achievement what he's done over the course of his week. He's surfed really well. He's been calm. He's fired up when he needed to, and he surfed pretty much a perfect heat to take out the first ever MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing. Hats off.
Great effort, Frederico Maurice. You're champion of the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing for the men, alongside Joanne de Fate for the women. And big smiles from him, and be a big relief as well. It's a well-deserved victory, and not a whole load of ways from his point of view in that final, just 3 of them. So an economy of effort. His strategy to be on the best way is absolutely paying off. And Frederico Maurice is absolutely stoked with the way this one's gone. A huge win over Italo Ferreira, the world champion. In that cheap leader, yellow jersey. Maurice absolutely stoked on this one. As you said, it's not the points, it's not even the prize money. And it's all about just taking out surfers of the very highest caliber. Attilo Ferreira is one of the greatest we've ever seen in terms of performance. He's a reigning world champ, but it's been Frederico Maurice of Portugal taking out the win here. He's getting ready to get chaired up the beach. Leo Fioravanti in his corner. And he'll make his way up the beach here, and a very happy young man.
Yeah, I thought that grommet was going to do it. I was like, hang on, mate. So yeah, you need to like, you'd be there to some photographs, and yeah, the boys here are really happy. All in their little bubble of fun. They've trained together, they've worked together, and Freddie's the one that has taken out. And you know, look what it means to him. You know, we talk about the passion and the competitive spirit, and it's still so strong. We see Canelo, he showed it earlier on, and you know, this means a lot because we've missed it so much. And Fred was talking about the hole that's been in his world for the first time since he's been probably 14, 15. There's no competitive surfing. You know, that's who he is in lots of ways. That's what defines him as an athlete and as a surfer, and it was gone. And I'll tell you what, it's back now, and you can see how happy he is about it.
Frederico Kikash Maurice, your champion of the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing, chaired up the beach, as is the tradition. He'll be coming in for the podium. Hope to get a word from him before we get ready for the presentation. But a great job from him. And that's the way to take out a final. Get yourself an excellent score. 883 is a huge number. Let's go and hear from him right now. Take it away, Diogo.
Yeah, huge congratulations, Frederico. Once again, you win in Portugal after Santa Cruz, after Azores. Must feel great to win here again.
Yeah, it's pretty good to win at home. It's been an amazing few days. Everyone at the beach, all the crowd, it's been super fun to be around. It's not counting for any points, but just to be back in the water, back competing, surfing against Italo, Canoa, Reeds, Afonso. It was a pleasure, and yeah, stoked to come out with a win, and yeah, obrigado a todos.
I'm going to run some questions in Portuguese. Kikas, como é que sabe vencer aqui Portugal mais uma vez, diante dos teus fãs, diante da tua família, diante de todos nós? Deve estar bastante orgulhoso, de certeza.
É ótimo. Vencer em casa com o nosso povo português, orgulhosos. Pôr o surf português ao mais alto nível. Sabem, voltar a competir, ganhar aqui. Ribeira de Ilhas é uma onda muito especial para mim, isso era um lugar especial para mim, onde eu passo a maior parte do meu tempo a treinar. Sou super bem recebido pelos locais, tratam-me lindamente como se eu fosse daqui, por isso é um orgulho. E pronto, esta vitória nestes tempos difíceis é para todos os portugueses que estão a assistir em casa e a respeitar tudo.
Huge congratulations again, Kikas. Back to you, boys.
Peço desculpa por ter mas na realidade.
All right, thanks, Diogo. Frederico Maurice with a few words in Portuguese. They're absolutely stoked, as you might expect. He's your champion of the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing. Join us for the podium show and the post-show debrief right after this commercial.
Please wait until people leave and don't go into a bottleneck with the beach. Stand by, wait on the beach for a while, come get together, wait a while until you can leave the beach with a proper distance between everybody. Once again, thank you everybody.
And we are back here. We've just seen the final of the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing on Monday. Diogo, I've just seen it. You were down there on the beach with Fred. How's the vibe? How happy was he?
Yeah, what an amazing vibe. Everybody there trying to keep the distance, but it was really huge for Portugal.
Yeah, such a big win for the hometown hero. He surfed so well. He was so composed, and when it mattered, he absolutely took it home.
It seems that he expected for this time to start putting the surf really well, giving some really good turns during the entire heat, and it was really interesting to see how he beats Italo in a heat like this.
Yeah, that's right. He played to his strengths. He got the best waves as he does, and then that last one when he did 4 or 5 turns on the inside. And there was passion, the Portuguese passion. You've got that. How was it? You could feel it, couldn't you?
Yeah. You could feel on the beach. You can feel on his coach. You can feel on his family. So it was it was really nice to see another win from Frederico Moraes here at Portugal.
Yeah, he's made a habit of it. You mentioned that he'd already won in Santa Cruz on the QS when he qualified last year, and he won in the Azores in some perfection ways. So every time he turns up in Portugal, he's a massive threat, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's well deserved. Kikas is always a strong surfer. It's always a strong competitor in the water, so well deserved.
And just in terms of what it means to Portugal, I mean, big news, right? Imagine the TVs, it'll just be huge around this part of the world.
I think for 2 days you don't gonna hear something like pandemic or COVID. You're just gonna hear Frederico Moraes won in Portugal again.
Well, what a pleasant relief that would be. But yeah, he's a superstar of the sport. He's a superstar in sport in Portugal, and he's just further cemented his legendary status.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So. Now, we're missing our man Paul Evans because he's gone down there to the presentation to actually sort of hand over the prizes. There's no prize money here. It's going to, all of it is donated to the local ocean-based charity. But there's definitely some thanks to be had and some trophies to be given out to both our winners. So we've got Paul Evans down there. As soon as Paul's ready, he can take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Mundy. So let's get this presentation for the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing underway. First of all, of course, a big thank you to everyone who helped put this event together. We've had a mobile format here in Portugal this year. We've had a bunch of surf spots available at our disposal. We've chosen this one right here. There's a reason for that. Ribeira de Las, once again, hasn't let us down. So big thanks to the local surfers for lending us their wave. We haven't had the traditional crowds that we usually get for obvious reasons this year, but nevertheless, great support. So thank you, everybody, for that. Let's get this presentation underway. First of all, I'd like to welcome to the stage from MEO, our representative, Miguel Guerra. please step up onto the stage. Miguel Guerra from MEO. I'd also like to welcome up from Portugal Tourism, Felipe Silva. Welcome to the stage, Felipe Silva. From Mafra City Council, Celia Fernandes. Welcome to the stage, Celia. And from the Oceano Azul Foundation, João Facato. Welcome to the stage, you guys. And obviously at this stage, a big thanks to our sponsors, of course, MEO, Tourism of Portugal, EDP, Buondi and Hertz, and our other event partners, Tourism of Portugal, Jeep and Red Bull. Most of all, a big thanks, of course, to the community for lending us this epic wave. And it's been a fun week of competition. We've had great waves for our final day. So great job by our contest director, all the organisation. Let's get on with the presentation. First of all, from the women's side of competition. It's been a hotly contested affair. And let's welcome our athletes up onto the stage. The women's runner-up. We got Nadia Aristabi. Welcome up to the stage, Nadia. She's just getting ready. A great performance from this young lady, of course, representing a new generation of talent out of Europe from up in Zadouts in the Basque Country. And she's given a great account of herself here in Portugal. Nadia, welcome. I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. Obviously, pleased to make the final. Surfing against Joanne was always going to be tough. You've got some great scores yourself. You must be pretty happy with the way this event's gone for you.
Yeah, I'm really happy about the contest. I did a really great contest. Joanne is a really great surfer, and it was a dream to have a hit with her.
And in terms of getting surfing back on again, the whole community's pretty stoked, all the fans watching online. How good is it to be back competing for the WSL?
Oh, it was really great. I had the contest in Anglet too, so I'm happy to be back competing.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put your hands together. Our women's runner-up, Nadia Aristabi. She's your women's runner-up for the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing. Congratulations, Nadia. Okay, let's welcome now to the stage our Jeep leader jersey. She came into Anglet for the French Rendezvous wearing that jersey. She's worn it all the way through the Euro Cup. She's still wearing it right now. She's a champion of the Euro Cup of Surfing. She's the champion of the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing. Joanne de Fey, congratulations. Welcome to the stage. Actually got a couple of trophies to award you there. But first of all, let's get a little word with you, Joanne. It's been a weird year for everyone. Haven't had a chance to compete on the World Tour as you would have liked. How good does it feel, first of all, just to be back competing?
Yeah, like you said, I think it was great for all the surfers and athletes to put the jersey back on and kind of check where they are in their surfing and competitively wise. I'm not sure how to say. So yeah, it was a great couple of weeks, and I'm happy to wear the yellow jersey for once in my life.
And Portugal never lets us down. You've been staying in your van, having a good time, surfing a ton of waves, and it's been great waves here at Ribeira for you. Must be stoked on that too, to win the final in good surf. Yeah, sure. Super happy. The waves were great in the final, and here in Ribeira. It's great memories too, because I started kind of my career here when I was younger for like pro juniors and stuff. So great to be back here, and I'm really happy to be in Portugal, and I'm going to stay a couple more days to enjoy. All right, Joanne de Fey, we look forward to seeing you competing in Maui later on in the year. A big round of applause. You're champion of the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing and the Euro Cup of Surfing, Joanne de Fey. Couple of trophies here for you. All right, Joanne de Fey, an epic job from her. Okay, let's turn our attention to the men's side. And let's welcome up to the stage Attilo Ferreira, our men's runner-up, champion of the Euro Cup. Won the event up in Anglet. He's your reigning world champion from the World Surf League. Attilo Ferreira, welcome to the stage. There you go, mate. Italo, obviously all the way to the final, you're expecting a win, but nevertheless, it's been a great run of competition for you here in Portugal.
Thank you. Yeah, I will speak in Portuguese, it's better. Foi legal, parabéns Kikas, venceu o campeonato em casa, incrível. Muito feliz por você e amarradão de ter feito mais uma final. Foi umas 2 semanas aí bem corrida para mim. E estou bem cansado agora de ir para casa, me preparar para a Pipe. Eu acho que é um evento que vai trazer bons frutos e depois eu volto para Portugal de novo no próximo evento. Então estou defendendo essas 2 etapas de primeira. Então são 2 etapas que eu já quero ganhar e começar com o pé direito. Então acho que isso aí foi um break de uma vitória entre outra. E é isso. Obrigado, Marquinhos. Obrigado, Mari, toda a galera de Portugal, os meus amigos que me acompanharam esses dias. Foi incrível. Estou numa pegada bem forte e espero continuar buscando evoluir e dando o meu melhor sempre, independente de quem esteja na bateria comigo. E é isso que eu venho buscando. Obrigado novamente a todos, Portugal. Eu amo esse lugar. Tamo junto. Valeu.
All right, Attilo Ferreira, congratulations to him. Thanks for coming over here and entertaining us. Can't wait to see you at Pipeline coming up in December. Good luck for that. Attilo Ferreira, ladies and gentlemen, our runner-up of the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing. Of course, that just leaves us with one remaining trophy to award. You might have heard of him. His name's Frederico Maurice. He's your champion, the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing 2020. Frederico Kikesh Maurice. Frederico, our champion of the event here, mates. Obviously competing on your home turf. Always enjoyable for you, never short of motivation, and a tough final against Italo. You had your work cut out, but you brought your best surfing.
Yeah, exactly. I'll speak Portuguese as well. Foram uns bons dias cheios de surf, com muitas ondas, poucas ondas, maré cheia, muitas esperas, mas já tinha saudades disto, de acordar às 5 da manhã, vir ansioso, nervoso, saber que ia defrontar um Afonso Antunes, um Italo, um Canoa, e é isso que eu sinto falta sem a competição, mas foi incrível ganhar em casa. Não há nada mais especial do que isso, à frente de todos os portugueses, mostrar que o surf português está no bom caminho. Vimos o Vasco a surfar muitíssimo bem, a Teresa, a Yolanda, o Afonso, e para mim isso é mais importante, é saber que nós temos um futuro e vamos continuar a brilhar. Por isso, muito obrigado a todos, obrigado aos organizadores e aos apoios que puseram este evento de pé e nos deixaram brilhar e fazer aquilo que mais nós amamos. Por isso, um grande obrigado a vocês e a todo o público, porque sem vocês nada disto seria possível.
All right, once again, a huge round of applause, please, for our champion, Frederico Maurice. And another huge round of applause, the Euro Cup of Surfing trophy to Attilo Ferreira, the win up in France in Anglet. Second place here, the Euro Cup of Surfing champion, Attilo Ferreira. A round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. And we are very much looking forward to seeing these guys resume hostilities on the Championship Tour Pipeline coming up in December, kicking off the 2021 season. A couple more things to do here on the stage today. If we could just ask everyone to just remain on stage. We've got a little award to bring. When I say little, it's actually huge. We're talking about one of the great activations going on here at Portugal. It's the Oceano Azul Foundation. I'd like to welcome Francisco Spinola up onto the stage. And Francisco, you're going to be giving this award right here to the Oceano Azul Foundation, and a huge gesture, $20,000 US. That's the donation from the organization here, raising awareness for the environment, speaking up for the ocean. We need to look after it. It's where waves come from, it's where we have all our fun, and that is an epic gesture. Ladies and gentlemen, award, round of applause for Oceano Azul. All right, that's going to wrap things up for the presentation. Everyone, stay distant, stay safe. We're going to send it back to Ben Mundy in the booth.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Yeah, so a great little, at the end there, $20,000 US going to the Oceano Azul Foundation, which is, to help the conservation of our precious planet. And the ocean delivered today, didn't it, Diogo? Ribeira de Ilhas was on fire. Throughout the course of the day, we've had amazing waves.
Yeah, especially about talking about the contest director, Miguel Forte, back on. Huge calls, and it was great to have him.
Yeah, he absolutely nailed it. I'll tell you what, that meant that we had some magic moments. So we've got 5 of the top magic moments from the MEO Portugal Cup of Surfing. Let's go through them, and we're going to see some incredible surfing. So straight off the bat, we saw some incredible waves. This was early on. Joanne Defay, who we just saw, was the women's quarter-final. And the Heat 2, she absolutely laid down a marker, and incredible surfing here. So a 7.67 from Joanne. She was on fire the whole event, and she was doing those layback snaps, those drop wallets, and that was some incredible surfing, and that was one of our top 5 magic moments of the day.
Yeah, another one was Ramsey Bukiam men's quarterfinals. It's a 8.87, smashing on his backhands.
Yeah, one of the form surfers too, until he unfortunately is a bit wave starved in his head against Italo, but this backhand surfing was absolutely incredible. Another one, that pink board slicing and dicing through Ribera Lewis. He was probably the form surfer for me, and then just until he met Italo, and then he couldn't quite beat the world champ. But what a performance from Ramsey.
Yeah, it was a tricky hit with no waves, so unfortunately for Ramsey.
We just saw, well, we know who that man is. So, yeah, the eventual winner, Kikash, he was just on fire from the start. This was his quarter final, and within the space of, I think, 7 minutes, he had more than 16 points in the bag with surfing like this. Clean waves, strong surfing, and he showed it all the way to the final. He didn't put a foot wrong. He didn't make a mistake. He didn't fall off. And when it mattered, when the clutch surfing moments came, he absolutely put the foot down.
Yeah, absolutely amazing effort by Frederico Moraes. Amazing surf. Well done by him.
I can see your Portuguese chest just beating with pride there, Diogo, and why wouldn't you be? Because, yeah, I mean, the whole... And Freddie thanked everyone, didn't he? Thanked all the Portuguese surfers just then,
yeah.
all from the kids in the first round to right through. You know, he's an elder statesman now. Oh, well, and he's still right at the top of his game, but he's been crucial to the this resurgence in what is an incredible surf nation.
And, of course, Joanne Defay winning the event on a huge final with a 7.33. No, it wasn't 7.5, sorry, and a 6.77. One of the best overall scores of the women's. Speed, power, and flow throughout the whole event.
Yeah, she just as well. I mean, those winners, I mean, they're winning for a reason, aren't they? Because every heat, they just build momentum, they build scores, and they get more and more confident. And yeah, Joanne, yeah, she was just unstoppable. And never really, I can't remember a single moment in Portugal where she looked like she was in trouble. She was so happy, and there's that smile that can light up 40 power stations. And yeah, incredible surfing and well-deserved win. Uh-oh.
And of course, men's winner.
Who's this guy?
Frederico Moraes, showing his best surf on the final. Seems like he was waiting for the final to show all the best moves.
He's right. He waited for this one, and he got on the inside. And when it mattered, I think there's 4 turns here. I think there's four turns and one in the final. He just warmed up. Yeah, taking down the world champ. All those 4 million waves he's ridden at this break over the last 15 years may have paid off. And he showed it. He was passionate. He was powerful. He was personal. And this was what I love about it. He was absolutely on fire. He was just the Portuguese man of war. And he absolutely spanked it. And there he is, clutch hitting the chest. We love that. There's Richard showing that right bicep of his. And he is so happy. And what a win for Portugal and for Frederico Moraes. So, and it was an incredible performance. And Diogo, so many highlights, but there can only be one EDP wave of the day, and that's what we give to the highest score ridden today. And the EDP wave is this one. What a wave.
Yeah. Let's have a look at this. It was by Ramsey Bukiam. 8.87 from the Moroccan surfer.
Yeah, you know, so vertical, and that was when the waves were a little bit more tricky too, so the conditions weren't easy, but he just absolutely went square and vertical. And 8.87, the ADP wave today. He's actually won it a couple of times throughout this this event, so he's absolutely had a great event. But, you know, there's been 2 winners. well, actually, there's been 3 winners. There's been Frederico, Maurice, there's been Joanne DePay, and there's been professional surfing. 4 winners and me, because I'm here to witness it. So what a incredible week. A couple of weeks in Europe. We're going to have to say goodbye, though, unfortunately, Diogo. But, mate, you must be a proud Portuguese surfer to see this all unfold in your home break.
Yeah, and I have to say thanks to you guys, Paul and Ben, for having me. You are always welcome in Portugal, so...
Jeez, I've never heard that before. That is good.
Thanks so much for the help.
That is good news. We appreciate it. Thanks to all the World Surf League. Thanks to all the sponsors. It's been an incredible few weeks of surfing. The Australian event is on, so the Boost Mobile Pro up there at South Stratty is on soon. So there's so much more professional surfing. It's like clockwork. Keep an eye on the WSL, worldsurfleague.com, where you'll find some of the most incredible content, so incredible surfers. It's all there. But for now, we've got to say goodbye.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate your support. Stay tuned. We're going to go to a break, come back with the highlights of the event, and we're going to go to the highlights. Sorry, my apologies. We're going to go to the highlights right now and wrap it up. Thanks for having us.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.